Hey guys, it's Brett Lewis with L4 Group, and today I thought we would touch on a topic that applies to anybody that's actually looking for some kind of contractor, whether it's a carpenter, an electrician, but specifically today we're going to be talking about HVAC contractors. I mean, it's summertime, and keeping your house or your office cool in the summer is priority, so I thought it'd be a good idea to talk about, what are some good tips for finding, a good HVAC contractor. And I have with me today Steve Ohl from RF Ohl, who happens to be a HVAC contractor. How's it going, Steve?
It's good. How are you?
Good, good. Trying to stay cool.
Great day out there. It's going to be nice mid-80s, I guess.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So Steve, before we get into some of the questions, why don't you give everybody a little bit of a background as to what RF Ohl does?
Sure. RF Ohl is a heating oil and propane delivery company. We're also HVAC specialists. We do heating and cooling system installations for heating oil, propane, natural gas, electric. We have a full hearth and patio shop also. We do fireplaces, space heaters, retractable awnings, patio furniture, barbecue grills. We're in Lehighton, Pennsylvania on Route 209.
Awesome. And you guys are not the new kids on the block. I mean, you're celebrating your 30th year in business this year, correct?
Yeah, 30 years this year. It's actually gone by pretty quick.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Thanks.
So when it comes to consumers trying to find a contractor and especially an HVAC contractor, can you give us some ideas on what are some tips that we should be utilizing, or what are some things that we should look out for?
Yeah, I mean the big thing is, do they answer the phone? If you can get access to a HVAC contractor 24 hours a day, that's the important thing, because your system doesn't break down on business hours. I've already called just other companies to touch base on something, and they were closed at 4:30. Or sometimes you're searching for a part, and a guy who is in business, and maybe he has a certain brand that he carries, and you're going to call, and they don't open till 9 a.m. Or you get an answering machine. It's even frustrating for other HVAC contractors when they're trying to use their connections within the industry to get a hold of somebody. I can imagine what the consumer goes through when they can't get a hold of a HVAC contractor at 8 o'clock at night, or midnight when the system breaks down. Even in the middle of the day, it's 90 degrees out and your system's down. You want to be able to call somebody and know that they at least got the message. And when you get a phone machine or something like that, or a voicemail, it's just frustrating. So that's one of the big things: is, do they answer the phone? Do they have a website? Are they easily accessible online? Can you get a hold of them in multiple ways? For instance, we do Facebook, email, Twitter, just a regular phone call, all those things. But that's, and then also checking with other customers, see if your neighbors or your friends or your coworkers have had good experiences with people, family members. That's a big thing to check out also.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because just me personally, and I know my son's just like me, but when it comes to not being able to cool down when you're trying to sleep, I'm miserable. And it's in the wintertime, if you don't have heat, I can throw on some extra blankets. I'm okay. But in the summertime, man, if that air goes out at like you said, midnight, and I'm trying to sleep, I'm miserable. So making sure that you can get a hold of your HVAC contractor at all hours, for me, is a priority. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, most customers are the same way. I mean, there's definitely been a shift within the HVAC industry to take care of the cooling customer, they're actually more important than the heating customer, because the heating customer can usually, wait it out a few hours, throw a blanket on, like you said, a jacket, and they understand that. But when it's hot and the people are frustrated, there's no waiting.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
gonna somebody, with a house full of kids or a house full of family members for some kind of reunion or something that, oh, I won't be there till tomorrow. It's very frustrating for people, and I know why. I'm just like you. I like cool. I'm sitting in the office right now. It's 68 degrees. I just like to be cool. I don't want to be out. I go outside for a little bit, but then I come back in and cool off. So
Exactly, exactly. Now, looking at contractors, are there any kind of designations that the consumer should be looking for to try to make decisions on which HVAC company to go with?
yeah, there's really two big ones that I would look for. One is, do they have EPA certifications? You know, the technicians should have EPA certification cards, and that's an important thing, because there are guys out there operating, weekends, fly by night kind of stuff, that they just rent a van. Suddenly they're in business. They're buying product off the internet and installing it without really the right certification. The other thing is, we're in Pennsylvania, and most of the states around us actually too have the same similar certifications. You should have a PA contractor number. It's an HIC law, it's called, and that's important. For instance, our number is PA 175. So, but now the numbers are up in the hundreds of thousands. But if you look on, you'll usually see a PA and then followed by something on the side of the vehicle that they're driving. And that should also be in their advertisements and other things that they put in the newspaper or online, billboards. It's actually a requirement of the law. So that's another big thing. And the other thing is to look at online, like say the Better Business Bureau, reviews, because mistakes are going to happen. And there's no one contractor out there that has the perfectly spotless record. But look online and see, do they take care of the actual problem once it happened? If you can go in the Better Business Bureau, see if the issue was resolved. If you have a contractor with a lot of unresolved issues or a low grading, that means he's not going to take care of the customer. He's basically installing the system and he leaves, and that's it. He's not coming back. He got paid. So those are some of the big things to look out for.
Yeah, those are excellent points. Now, when someone's actually doing a complete install of a new unit, or I guess even just repair work as well, what kind of paperwork should they be expecting to get from a contractor?
Well, you should get some type of an estimate up front, and it should be a fixed price estimate. Unless even jobs that last a year on big commercial jobs, they're pretty much quoted for the entire project. So a 1 to 3 day installation in your home, you should have the ability to get from your contractor a fixed price quote, knowing exactly what you're paying. Typically, there's a contract if it's a home project. There should be some type of a contract. With commercial work, it's not required, but it's still recommended. There should be some type of an inclusions, exclusions, in the contract, so that you can have change orders and things like that, because there might be simple things you change. So that's important too. Just looking for, are they, again, going back to contact information, is all their information on there? Do they actually have a letterhead? And are they giving you the service that you're looking for? Spell out any kind of agreements as far as warranties and maintenance plans. If they're offering some kind of a 2-for-1 maintenance deal or something like that, make sure that's in there, that you're actually getting what you're paying for. Typically, most contracts will require 30% down. So that's another thing you don't want to look for. Are you required to pay 100% of this up front? I'd kind of question that, because most HVAC equipment can be purchased from your local, from the local supply source, and it's not a special order item where you have to pay 100% of it up front. So typically the PA contractors, you're not usually allowed to take more than 30% on stuff for certain special projects or non-returnable equipment. So
Right.
that's a thing to check out.
Okay. Awesome. And also, as far as the contract goes, I like to do, I like to make sure that there's a start date and an end date, or a starting date with an approximation of how long the project's going to take. So, just as a consumer, I'm aware of, okay, well, you guys are going to come in and start here, and it's going to be, a 3-day project.
Yeah, typically you'll have that in there because you're gonna have the system installed, and you're not going to have it installed the next day. So usually you'll have a 30 to 45 day window where they're required to have the installation done. That you're planning it out. So once you sign the contract, you may install it next week or 2 weeks, but you have typically a window of 30 to 45 days because something could happen on the customer's end, something could happen on the contractor's end. So you want to allow some time in there for just equipment disruptions, things like that. I remember a few years ago, with the tsunami that happened in Japan, there was a big issue with some of the Fujitsu and Mitsubishi product that was coming because the warehouses had been disrupted over, in Japan, and they just couldn't ship the product, and availability became an issue. So that was a big thing. Customers had wanted to still do the installations, but you might have had to extend contracts or re-sign contracts, things like that. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
So, all right, awesome. So wrapping up, is there anything else that you'd like to stress for people that they should be looking at, when they're trying to decide on which contractor to go with?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is kind of plan out your purchase. Once the system starts hitting the 10 to 12-year-old mark, you should be thinking about replacement. So you don't want to be in a situation where you need to replace the system that day or the next day. Like I cited earlier, you got a house full of people, or your party's tomorrow, and now you got to replace the system. Plan it out, and always get 2 estimates for a major replacement. You don't know, there could be a huge difference in the in the different prices, and you don't want to overpay, but you want to get the value that you're paying for. So one contractor could be a little bit different in price, but that contractor answered the phone, he had a website, he showed up with a lettered truck. You might feel more comfortable. His guy had a uniform on. All those things that you're looking for are important. So that adds value. It's not just down to the base price of an installation. And again, go back to the contract. Make sure you're actually offered a contract, and it has inclusions and exclusions as to what is going to be done and what's not going to be performed, because you don't want to assume that something's going to be done and then it's not. So it's a lot easier to have that discussed up front with the customer and the contractor. And typically most contractors will spell out exactly what they're going to do in the job. So that's they're going to tell you where the holes are being cut, if we got to cut holes. They're going to tell you where the units are placed. All that. You don't want to just say do it, and then you show up and the unit isn't where you wanted it. You have holes in the ceiling that you didn't want. So all those things are important to discuss up front.
Yeah, exactly. So, that would not be good. If you're not clear, and you in your mind you thought the unit was going to go one place, and you come home, like you said, and it's completely separate place where you may have had plans to put something there. That'd be a problem.
You can even mount a unit on the side of a house, and say the contractor likes to do that, but you don't. You come home and there's an outdoor unit hanging on the side of your house. You're not going to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to give us tips on how to find contractors. Why don't you give everybody your contact information if they do want to reach out to you, and also let everybody know the area that you service in, because you said you're located in Lehighton, but I know you cover a big area. So go ahead and let everybody know what that is.
Sure. Contact info is 610-377-1098 for the phone number. Our website is www.rfohl.com. Email is info@rfohl.com. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, which you can find a link right on our website. Our physical location is 400 Interchange Road in Lehighton, PA. That's Route 209, right above Wentz's Auto Body. We're right along the road. Can't miss it. And the radius that we serve, basically a 50-mile radius of Lehighton, includes approximately 5 counties: Harbin County, Northampton County, Lehigh County, Schuylkill County, and Monroe County. But if you would like to have us service your area, please give us a call and we'll let you know. If we service it, if you don't see it on our website. Currently we service approximately 82 zip codes, so we're always looking to add more. So just give us a call and we'll take a look at your area and let you know if we can service it or not.
Awesome. Awesome. Steve, thanks again for taking your time today to talk about finding good contractors, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. Take care.